Hello, welcome to the QMS channel. I'm Hart and today I'm going to talk about ISO certification. What is it? Well, before I start, I'm going to ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you believe that other people want to have access to this content, share this video with more people, friends, and entrepreneurs. This way you can help us get more engagement here on our channel with free content. Well, ISO certification. What is that? First of all, ISO is a non-profit organization, an international standards organization. In other words, it's an organization, a non-profit association that makes standards. It draws up standards all over the world, whether it's product standards, communication standards, standards of various kinds, and even ISO standards for management systems. What we call ISO certification. So ISO is this institution. An institution based in Geneva, Switzerland, founded after the war in 1945 and responsible for standardization throughout the world. When ISO takes on a subject, be it quality, the environment, occupational safety, information security, anti-corruption compliance, it takes on the role of being the global standard for that subject. So, when there is an ISO certification for that topic, you know that the ISO certification is going to be the most recognized certification for that specific topic. So how did these certification issues come about? ISO first appeared in 1987 with the publication of ISO 9001, which was the first standard, the ISO 9000 series, which was the first quality management standard. Then came 1996 to 14001 and other standards from the years 2001 onwards, a proliferation of standards on various subjects. Today we have ISO certification for quality, the environment, information security, and compliance. Before bribery, road safety, food safety, the logistics chain, you name it, there are standards for all tastes and all subjects, and ISO certification for all information. Well, in 1987 this market emerged for companies to be audited and receive an ISO certificate, the ISO certification, the infamous ISO certification, starting with ISO 9001. That's when ISO certification bodies such as QMS came into being. So the ISO certification bodies emerged from this ISO 9001 movement. So what was there in this chain? In this information, we had the companies that needed to be certified back in 1987, driven by ISO 19001 by the large automobile companies around the world, the need for these companies to implement ISO certification processes and be certified, and on the other side, the certification bodies. So these companies hired certifiers who would audit the companies and certify them to ISO. After the audit, the company was certified and received the certificate. This process still exists today, and that's what ISO certification is. But it's a little more complex than that. For all this to happen, there is a large international compliance system, which is what we call the certifiers. They need to be accredited, which means they also need to be certified. They need a recognition that we call accreditation by the accreditation body, such as IAS, ANAB, UKAS, JASANZ. In addition to the certifier's seal, your certificate will also bear the seal of one of these accreditations. So this is important. For example, when you go to buy a toy for your child, if you look on the back of the toy, there will be the seal of the certifier and the seal of the accreditation body, which means that the product is certified. It's not an ISO certification of management systems, it's a bit different, but the analogy works well, and these accreditation bodies are accountable to one international recognition forum, which is the IAF, International Accreditation Forum. The IAF is the International Accreditation Forum, and all the global guidelines for the ISO certification market. For example, for an auditor to certify your company, he needs to be competent. They need to have training, skills, and experience. Education according to the criteria of the IAF and other ISO standards. So this is important. The certifier itself needs to have a series of agreements and recognitions, to go through various impartiality processes as well in order to be a competent certifier to audit your organization. This process is complex enough to guarantee that the certificate you receive and put on your company's wall. It has global traceability and, of course, an accredited certificate. Keep this point in mind. You need an accredited certificate within your company because it's the same thing as doing a college course without recognition from the main education body in your country. So your certificate needs accreditation. Either accredited by a national body or accredited by an international body in a recognized country. United States, Europe, Oceania, among others. So keep an eye on these accreditation and certification processes. ISO certification today is highly recognized. Companies charge other companies to be certified, precisely in order to guarantee the quality of the product, service, or theme, whether it's compliance or a guarantee, the environment or preservation, in other words, employee safety, social responsibility, business continuity, information security. So other companies or regulatory bodies require companies to obtain ISO certification in order to guarantee security in commercial exchanges. I'm going to hire your company, but I want your company to be reputable. I want your company not to practice corruption. I want your product or service to be of good quality. I want you not to pollute the environment. I also want you to treat your employees well. So I guarantee these points. I demand ISO certification from your company. So, if you've come here because someone is demanding ISO certification for your company, it's for exactly those reasons. So, ISO certification is nothing more than credibility in commercial exchanges, in business partnerships between companies, mainly. So basically, that's the concept of ISO certification. Before you leave, I'd like you to like the video, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments what ISO certification your company is being charged for. Thank you. See you soon.